The river and the mind. What if the biggest prison in your life wasn't the world around you? What if it was your own mind? Today I want to share a story about two monks, a river, and a truth that most people never discover. It was evening. The sky burned in shades of orange and gold as two monks walked along a dusty forest path, returning to their monastery after a day of teaching. One monk was old, white-browed, weathered by decades of discipline and meditation, a man of strict rules. The other was young, calm, observant, with a quiet strength in his eyes. The forest was peaceful, the journey familiar, until they reached the river. The encounter. The water was high, swollen from recent rain. The current moved fast, covering the stepping stones they usually walked across. And standing at the bank was a young woman, dressed beautifully, but her face distressed. She bowed respectfully and said, "Respected monks, I must cross this river before dark, but I am afraid. Could one of you please help me?" The old monk froze. He looked at the woman, then immediately looked away. After a long silence, he spoke firmly. "We are monks. It is not proper for us to touch a woman. It may disturb the mind and create impure thoughts." The woman looked down in disappointment. But the young monk watched quietly. He didn't see a woman. He saw a human being in need. Without another word, he stepped forward and said gently, "If your intention is pure, there is nothing to fear." He lifted her carefully, carried her through the rushing water, and placed her safely on the other side. She bowed with gratitude and left. The silence. The two monks continued their journey in silence. An hour passed. The trees grew darker, the path narrower, and then the old monk could no longer hold it in. "You have broken the discipline," he said sternly. "I will report this to the master. You touched a woman. You carried her." The young monk stopped walking. He turned around, his expression completely calm. The lesson. "Respected elder," he said softly, "I carried her across the river and left her there. But you are still carrying her in your mind." Silence filled the forest. The old monk lowered his head. In that moment, he understood. Reflection. How many of us do this every single day? Someone says something unkind, the conversation ends, they move on, but we carry it for hours, days, sometimes years. We replay conversations, we rehearse arguments, we hold on to grudges that the other person has already forgotten. The old monk never touched the woman, but he carried her further than the young monk ever did. Closing wisdom. True discipline isn't about avoiding the world. It's about mastering what happens inside you when the world shows up. Avoiding temptation is easy. Letting go of attachment, that is the real practice. The young monk acted with compassion. Then he let go. That is freedom. So I want you to ask yourself right now, what are you still carrying that you could have put down long ago? If this story spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment below. I read every single one. And if you're new here, subscribe, because every week we explore stories like this that make you think differently.